Hello everybody, it's Foxy speaking, and yes, this is another episode of the most recommended YouTubers for 2024. And this episode, this one is representing Hutchie and Mel from the Fitness Hutch channel. Hutchie and Mel, they represent a channel representing, namely comprised of representing fitness and also representing the extremely vitally seen utmost importance of positivity in one's life. They really do represent the real importance for one to accentuate the positivity, which is, an immensely important thing for oneself to represent in the social media, certainly in this day and age, because we need a lot more of it. I think the world would be a hell of a lot more happier if we have more people like Hutchie representing how much of a difference accentuating the positivity can really do, and difference it can really do in one's life and all the rest of things. And also he represents fitness, and he even represents some certain dietary things. If you watch his channel, he has certain dietary videos, like what sort of fitness one could have, whether they have a vegan diet or meat-eating carnivore diet, or just an ordinary balanced diet, that sort of thing. And also representing some useful, helpfully handy, useful exercises. And there did come a point where they used to do a Monday exercise live gym session, where we'd watch them live doing some gym exercises, and sometimes we would do make up our own exercises. And then we come straight back to our computers or iPads, iPhones, tablets, smart telephones, iPods, or whatever computerized, technologically built devices we would use or are using when watching the live fitness. And then we'd say, okay, we've done this sort of exercise, this, that, and all the rest of that, this, that, in, out, shake it all about, whatever chance he had for us, or it stood. Ouch, kneecap hurts. Oh dear, but Hutchie is probably gonna ridicule me for having an aching kneecap. Foxy, you're like 20 years old, man. How could you have an aching kneecap at 20 years old? I'm 22. I'll be 23 later this year, but don't worry if you made a mistake on how old I am. We all make those mistakes, and all the rest of things. Yes, and what next? Obviously I watch what I can do, because there's only a certain amount I can do regarding fitness exercise-wise. I think for me, a good amount of exercise would be about 5 press-ups once a week, a good long walk, and an occasional bicycle ride. Because the more you do it, the more I do it, the more it aches the bones and joints, which hurts. And it hurts when you get older in age for some people. But some people are fit enough to the point where they can do so much exercise they don't have aches and pains, but for some, the older they get, it begins to take its toll, which is a bit irritating, really, but, there we have things. I mean, I'm fortunate to be very healthy, despite a few drawbacks in health, and I was, feeling the cold more, despite being 11 stone or 70 kilos in weight. But before I used to be 59 kilos or 9 stone 4 pounds. Now I'm 70 kilos or 11 stone, and I still feel the cold dreadfully. Oh no, not brilliant. But I'm fortunate still to be I'm fortunate enough to still be very healthy in various bits and pieces, as not everybody is fortunate with health, regardlessly speaking of how old they are in age. There are young people who are not fortunate with health, young children not fortunate with health, and also elderly people and middle-aged people who are really not terribly fortunate with health and all the rest of things. But there's the synopsis of the content, and they also do a live, generally, whenever chance allows for them, unless something extremely severe happened, they generally do a live stream every week on a Sunday, though it is sometimes not unheard of from time to time for Hutchie and Mel to sporadically do a live stream, sometimes on a certain day during the week, outside of the Sunday live stream chat and the Monday live gym session live stream, you know. So, yes, that's not unheard of always. And what is next? As truth has things. Outside of, and certainly quite a great while before Hutchie and Mel took up YouTubing and fitness work and management of young homelessness. That's the Hutchie's profession, that is, Mel's NHS. Before Hutchie did YouTubing, he's had quite an extraordinary life. And before he did the homelessness management and things, he's had an extraordinary life, whereas his first career was spending 5 years in the British Army, from 1998 to 2003. Ouch. And then he did a different profession for a minor period from about 2003 until about 2006, which was when at that point he took up the profession of being a prison officer. And he did the prison officer profession from 2006 until 2012. And oh my goodness, just what experiences Hutchie himself had being a prison officer. Goodness, the experiences. I mean, the experiences he had are just unbelievable and beyond imaginable from when I heard him opening up about it in a podcast he did with Sean Atwood. I mean, even though Hutchie doesn't always approve of me saying this, but I personally think Sean Atwood could be the new Michael Parkinson. You know, he was opening up very, very openly to Sean Atwood himself about his experiences in life being a prison officer when he worked as a prison officer. You know, I was just intrigued with what he had to share. No, it intrigued me greatly. You know, and it also really moved me, and honestly I was just amazed with what he had to share regarding it all and things, you know. But obviously there was quite a bad ending to his prison officer career, but you know, I don't want to spoil anything, but all I can say is that he did prison officer career of 2006, 2012, and obviously the previous other careers, particularly the army, but not going to go into a full depth of detail about it, because he talks about it in a fair depth of detail in the podcast he and Sean Atwood did back in either late October or early November of 2023. So yes, and the link to the podcast Hutchie and Sean Atwood themselves did back in 2023, in the autumn of 2023, shortly before the winter of 2023. The link to that very video will be found in the description below. And so yes, for those of you who aren't interested in watching it, of course. Yes, and but yes, what a career to have! Being first in the army, then another career, minorly done, and then prison officer career, and then going into the residential home, and then doing the work in both fitness. I think he does fitness sessions. I don't know, as far as I'm certain, and of course youth homelessness management and all the rest of things. I mean, what a life Hutchie has had, and certainly what a life he currently leads, and certainly past life. Those are extraordinary. In a way, I think he could be well represented in a documentary representing his life. In a way, I personally believe, never said this before, but I personally believe Trevor Colt should be in a documentary, which should be called Turn Towards the Sun #2, Turn Towards the Sun, The Extraordinary Life of Trevor Colt, MC, like there is with Turn Towards the Sun, The Extraordinary Life of Michael Byrne, MC, or Mickey Byrne, as he was known. He's sadly not with us now. And I think there should be a documentary in the future called Turn Towards the Sun, The Extraordinary Life of the Fitness Hutch group, representing both Hutchie and Mel's lifetime and all the rest of things. I certainly believe so. You know, he did go through quite a lot of trouble a fairly short time after I began following Hutchie. It was namely stress of certain things, which I won't talk about because it's deeply personal to poor Hutchie and Mel, and I really stood beside them both as much as I possibly could, and did try and comfort them as much as I possibly could, because of how sorry I felt for them following the ordeal they were going through and all that. Yes. And what next? Oh, yes. But since encountering Hutchie and Mel, I've had the good fortune to have befriended many wonderful new friends because of them both. Some of my most wonderful new friends I've befriended as a result of Hutchie and Mel include that of, lovely Lindy and Jacqueline, Sue, Gemma, Harold, Baldo, and various other wonderful new friends, Stu, and various other wonderful new friends. There's so many to count, but there are quite a few who I am greatly entrusting of, and those include lovely Lindy, Jacqueline, and of course lovely Sue Potter. And also one of my wonderful friends from Annabelle's, and also lovely Annabelle too. Yes, and that's how I found out about Annabelle. Lovely Annabelle, who is a YouTuber herself, but one day I will talk about her. We shall see what happens. I've had the most wonderful fortune, and several other, I've got like more than 10 friends, far too many to list out, who I've befriended as a result of encountering Hutchie and Mel. And I think his father has sometimes joined a live stream or two Hutchie and Mel have represented. And Hutchie's wonderful father, Peter, who seemed quite friendly and a decent man. And not that I've always had a conversed conversation with him whenever seeing him on a live stream. He's the sort of man, not only would I have a conversed conversation with, but I think all of my friends who I've had the good fortune to have befriended within Hutchie and Mel's content would have a conversed conversation with. And even once Hutchie represented myself and Trevor Colt once in one video, when it was assumed and once announced that Trevor Colt would be leaving the YouTubing platform until he reinstated his content and got back to YouTubing, when he got back to it stronger than he had ever been before. And he's even said some very nice things about me, Hutchie has. And he once said he said some interesting things about me, and he's even said that there could be certain distinctions about me that's very different compared to a lot of people of my 22-year age. Because he said, I'm not like a lot of 22-year-old men in this day and age, much to my surprise. Interesting representation on certain distinctions of me and all that. Oh, no. But, I'm extremely grateful and thankful for all the content Hutchie and Mel provide, and certainly couldn't be more fortunate and more grateful to have befriended all the wonderful new friends I've had the good fortune in befriending since encountering Hutchie and Mel themselves. But I have to say, certainly, well, I very, very much appreciate you. Well, we all appreciate you, and certainly do I appreciate you most sincerely, Hutchie, for all the content yourself and Mel respectfully provide, and indeed do I happily intend to continue following yourself and Mel in the future years to come. And I certainly do hope our fairly newfound friendship will continually flourish happily into the future years to come, as do I certainly hope my friendship with Lindy, Jacqueline, Sue, and all the other wonderful new friends I've befriended as a result of yourself and Mel. I certainly hope my friendship with them all will continually flourish happily into the future years to come on an enormously large scale. Certainly do I hope so, and hope this will enormously happen in an extraordinary way with a positive side effect alongside it in a tremendously big scale. Yes. And sometimes Hutchie does some walking videos with his wonderful dog, Dexter. Well, their faithful family dog, Dexter, who is a great, big, huge German Shepherd dog. Go on, Dexter, out. No, out. Dexter. Dexter, out. No, out. No. Come on, Dexter, out. Dexter, out! Honestly, that's so funny. Out! No! Dexter, I saw you. Out! No! Out! Yes. Come on, Dexter. Out! No, so I could represent the live stream with everyone on it. Time for Fitness Hutch representation. No, I wasn't trying to make a mockery. I was just trying to represent some comedy doing that. Yeah. But yes, but thanks everybody indeed for watching this very video. And please, 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 I would certainly recommend oneself watch Hutchie's channel. The link to his channel will be found in the description below. And also the video link of Hutchie representing myself and Trevor will be found in the description below, as well as the video Hutchie and Sean Atwood did a podcast of together back in 2023. That video link will be found in the description below. And sometimes there are some, I've missed this out, but I'll get it in towards the very end of this video. Sometimes I enjoy joking about Shaq arresting and detaining people, Shaq O'Neal, the basketball player within Hutchie's content. Sometimes Hutchie's like, Foxy, you're obsessed with tall people, as Shaq is over 7 foot in height. Well, could you imagine if Hutchie ever got pulled over and arrested by 7'1" Shaq? Or could you imagine if his wife ever got detained by a muscular 7'6.5" henchman? Or if Hutchie got detained by a 7'3" and 7'4" henchman in the streets where they're just detaining him. 7'4" are just headbutted. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yes. 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 Honestly, it's sometimes I have too much fun when I joke about Shaq arresting people. If Shaq knocked on my door and arrested me, I remember Hutchie and Mel once talking about that. And I did actually once mention that Kevin Hart gets arrested by Shaq to Hutchie and Mel, and it was the first time I encountered him. He was like, no, Shaq's really, really tall, and Kevin Hart is really, really small, as Hutchie was representing to us all, which is incredibly true, by the way. And for those of you who are interested in the Kevin Hart Gets Arrested video I have spoken about a very great many times within Hutchie and Mel's content. The very video of the Kevin Hart Gets Arrested by Shaq video will be found in the description below of this very video for those of you who are interested in watching it, and certainly if Hutchie and Mel are interested in watching it, the video itself will be found in the description below. But yes, thanks everybody indeed for watching. Hutchie and Mel, I appreciate you both and cherish you both most sincerely, and certainly am I hoping once again that our friendship will continually flourish happily into the future years to come on an enormously large scale, alongside all of my wonderful new friends I've had the good fortune in befriending since encountering both of you. And hopefully one day in the future I may make a live stream appearance with Hutchie and Mel, as I think Trevor once made a live appearance with Hutchie and Mel at one point. Thanks everybody indeed for watching, and I shall certainly see you in the very next video. Ta-ta, another time. From Foxy.